Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Essendon vs Sydney game, in which Sydney came out on top 98-59 in what was a very awkward, scrappy, at least first half. It was so, boring, and the Swans defence held up and probably kept them in the game in that first half, as at least the inside 50s were massively swayed in Essendon's favour. And then Swans were just able to hit on the counter a couple times in the game, and then in the second half they ran riot. Their midfield started to get on top, and yeah, I think that was the big thing. In the first quarter, they were minus 20 for contested possessions, and then the rest of the game, I believe they were even. And I think in the second half, at least, they were maybe plus 10 or something like that for contested possession. But anyway, let's just jump into this video here, and you'll see that the top three actually all came from Essendon players, which I think is a testament to their game style of just trying to keep the ball off the opposition, and it doesn't really work terribly much. And I think I said this as well in a Twitter post, that Nick Martin really should be on the wing, but he isn't on the wing because they don't have good players out of the back half. I do really like Archie Roberts. Much to his namesake in Matty Roberts. They're both really good ball users and really attacking. So I think that Archie Roberts could be one of the solutions there. And I think that Toby Travalia is probably the one guy in the draft that Essendon should be looking at, as I think he, alongside Kako coming in for that small forward role, would really allow Martin to push, would really mould the team, and it would allow Travalia would allow Martin to push up more towards the wing, and you get his balls inside 50 rather than a Perkins, a Hobbs, even a Durham or a Redmond, getting their balls as the ones that aren't entering inside 50 is probably a lot better than still having the Merritt balls, but also the Martin balls inside 50 is a lot better. So Martin had a really good game. He's got off to a really good flyer here with 2 goals in quick succession. To get 29 in the first, and he got a 1-2-1 in the end, which just shows, I think, why there was a good reason to hold him, as the Swans are pretty good as a transition team at the moment for some reason, and Martin thrives in that, as well as Gold Coast were one of the easier matchups for that as well, and I think that's why you saw Langdon, and you'll see other guys in that game. I can't remember who it was, but someone went 140 and someone went 130, maybe Salem, was it? Or Trent Rivers. I think they all went big. And that's the reason why is Gold Coast are so good at conceding transition points, especially turnover points, that these type of players, these half-backs, really score well. Caldwell, 119, he absolutely butchered the ball. I think he in the end had 9 or so clangers. I think only Steel Sidebottom had more or something like that for the round. But yeah, he just kept on getting the ball, 31, 7 and 5. He definitely won the matchup with Heaney in the first half, but then Heaney just went off in the second half. He brought him forward, and let's just say Caldwell is not a defender. As simple as that. Caldwell ended up with kicking a goal. Was his goal early, or was it in when did he kick his goal? Just trying to find it here. In the last quarter, 1 minute 20 into the last, he took a mark and then kicked a goal in the end. But yeah, he had a pretty good game, but in the end, I think Heaney just showed that Caldwell can't really get brought forward, and I think Heaney's Caldwell was a lot more about quantity over quality, and I think that was the difference between him and Heaney. But I genuinely do think that Caldwell, Sarong, Horne-Francis, Chad Warner, etc. They're all guys that can be 20 and 2 type of guys, I feel like, or 25 and 2 type of guys. And yeah, I think he's starting to mould into that, so I think he's had a really good year. I just think that he just needs more help. McGrath, 110, I just think they need to get it out of his hands, to be honest with you. He had 29 touches. I wouldn't be surprised if he went really inefficient, or whether he was just not effective. Let me actually just double check with that to see what he was like. But it just didn't feel like he was that damaging. Let me just check here. What did he go at? He went at 79%, but had 5 turnovers. I don't know how many clangers he had. Does this show clangers here? No, 1 second. Let me bring it up. Clangers, yeah, that's fine. He, in the end, Caldwell had 8, Martin had 6, Roberts had 4. That is Archie Roberts, and McGrath had 3. So it wasn't too bad from the likes of McGrath. Parrish, 98. I don't know how to view this one because he scored 98 twice after a 107 in round 21. I just don't know whether he's the type of midfielder that we say, like Tom Mitchell when he was the first year at the Pies. I feel like it's something similar is happening here, where these type of midfielders Like even Luke Parker is a full-time mid, or a Callum Mills as a full-time mid. I know it sounds crazy because those guys were really good even just 2 years ago. But it just feels like we are seeing a massive revolution in the midfield of just getting speed and line breakers in there. And I just don't think Parrish is that. And I think when you've got Merritt in there, who's still relatively quick, you just need Durham, Caldwell, and who else in there? You just need other guys in there. Especially, I don't think a midfield of Parrish, Shield works too well. Shield, he had a really good first half and then fell away in the third quarter when the Swans got on top, and then in the last quarter got back to it. 30 touches for him, but just over-possessing the ball, it feels like, with those guys there. Like Shield in the end went at 87%, so it was really actually efficient. The Swans made him look really good in the first half, which is quite funny, and then he just fell away. Roberts, 31, 25, 26, 13. I thought he's really good, and 25 touches, that's probably where you want him. That's what I say for Matty Roberts, is somewhere you want him around that 20 to 25 touch mark, because he'll go at like 80, 90%. I don't know what Roberts went at. Archie Roberts went at 76, so it was a little bit more attacking, but we've seen in the past he's able to go a little bit higher disposal efficiency. But he's a really meters gained type of player. Let me just check how many meters gained he has. He had in total 436 meters gained from 25 touches, which is a really good rate. Mackay, Laverde, Redmond, Durham, Draper, Merritt got absolutely locked down. 2023, 16, 5 in the last quarter was a little bit annoying. Would have liked a little bit more. Would have liked for him to do a little bit more non-disposal work, to be honest, as well, as he really just got held by James Jordan. Langford, Bryant, Stringer, Perkins, Hobbs, Gresham, no one else here really matters. No one else here has any future prospects, I don't think, either. Then we go over to Sydney. Gordon, 94. He didn't really actually get going too much. 25 touches, 6 marks, 2 tackles. I thought this is one of his better games, just because he was able to, I thought, use it a little bit better than what he usually does. He used the ball at 64%. He's usually a little bit worse than that, but he did have 8 turnovers and 6 clangers, so it was probably around his average actually in the end. Haywood, another really, really good game from him. 16 touches, 7 marks, 3 tackles, but 3 goals. He's starting to really provide as that medium forward, especially because there seems to be this non-linkage between the smalls at the moment and the talls. Like, there's just this big gaping hole that Haywood basically has to fill, and that's the whole list has this big gaping forward hole, and Haywood is the only guy there, unless you want Parker as sort of this marking medium, but he just had a horrific matchup this week when he played that role. Heaney, 94, 3 goals. He got into the forward line and really just took his tag into the forward line of Tagger into the forward line of Caldwell, and then just made him earn it. 22 touches, 6 marks, 2 tackles, and 3 goals. Absolutely on fire. Matty Roberts, 93 from him. He was really good in the last quarter, especially his contested work. 21 touches, 7 marks, 4 tackles. I don't know what he actually went at efficiency-wise, but it felt like a really good game. 90% disposal efficiency, 3 turnovers. I don't know how many clangers it was, but I don't think it would be too many. But yeah, really, really good work from him in general. And I just want to check here how many contested possessions. 9 contested possessions for a halfback is actually pretty good. Floric played more on the wing, kicked a goal, 23 touches, 10 marks. Don't think there's any fancy relevance there, but he did kick a goal in the end and had a pretty good game. Campbell, I thought, was one of the Swans' best in general. 13 touches, 6 marks, 5 tackles, 2 goals, 1. He looks really a much better player as that half forward type of player. That 60-70 out from goal, he just looks so much better and so much assured, and that's the reason why he scored really, really well. And he was also getting in with the non-disposal work, which was huge. Would like to see him have one of those sort of 25-30 disposal games, but I just don't think he's that type of player. I think he's a massive impact player rather than accumulator. Lloyd, Parker, 75. When he did nothing in the first half, I thought this is looking bleak, but 15, 6, and 3 goals in the end. He went into the midfield and just sort of provided almost a circuit breaker for that midfield, as it seemed like Essendon were just completely on top in the midfield. But started the third quarter and had a 48-point quarter, including 2 goals, as well as a lot of non-disposal points through marks. So yeah, just a huge quarter from him in that, and really broke the game open. McLean, Rampy, Rowbottom had a down game. I think he just really struggled. Wasn't on merit, but I think he just struggled with, Durham, I think. But yeah, he just struggled. McCartan, Blakey, 60, not really fancy relevant. McDonald, Cunningham, Cleary I thought had a really good game, showed sparks. We just need to wait for him to get that midfield role. 0 CBAs, I would suspect, as they were all sort of taken up by the likes of Goulden. I would think. Let me just double check this. The advanced, and give me the centre bounce attendances. Advanced, please. Here we go. You had Goulden on 17, Heaney on 24, Grundy on 17, Parker 14, Rowbottom 14, Adams 12, McLean 8, and Amati 2. So no CBAs for Cleary as expected, but he's going to be one for the future. I think 2026 will be the year that he really goes big, because that'll be the year where he's probably priced at about 550, 600k, I would suspect, maybe a little bit less, but he gets that midfield role, and that's the year that I think he'll go. James Jordan, Adams, Grundy had a stinker. A stinker fancy-wise. It wasn't too bad, actually, in effectiveness, as a lot of his hit-outs were hit-outs to advantage. I think he had 9 out of his 19, and he did play about a half of the ruck contest that he usually has. They almost rested him in-game, especially in that second half. As you see here, I think they just, look at that. I don't know if you'll see him get that much rest in games. And you'll see here, I think he was on the bench as well for the last 10 minutes of this quarter. He actually only played, if I'm led to believe, he only actually played 14 minutes in the last quarter, as well as not playing 11, as well as 17. In basically from the 20-minute mark of the second quarter, he had, I think, over 35 minutes on the bench, or 40 minutes on the bench, out of like 70. So he only played about 30 minutes out of the last 70 in the game, which just shows, he was on the bench. They're trying to rest him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they even rest him now that top spot is pretty much assured. It's like a 160, 180 point turnaround for them to lose top spot, I believe, at this point. Melican, Amati, and then Warner played in the twos actually after this and did pretty well on the Saturday. But he just is going to be fancy relevant sometime, but it's just not this year when he can't get a spot in the side at the moment. But anyway, that's the video. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on for future uploads, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.